So I started something new, I guess. It's called, sponsored by Bubbly. I wish. I love Bubbly. Okay, so I started something new and it's gonna be called Shoujo Sleepover, where we're gonna go over a series and it'll just be a recap episode by episode. You can see I'm in my Charizard, and for the first one ever, I wanted to get into Say I Love You because I really love this shoujo, and I read the manga at first, and I believe I started watching the anime, but I never finished it. So, and I feel like more people should read it, so let's get into it. Basically, we start off with episode 1 of Say I Love You. It is a love story, duh, set in high school, also duh, how most of them are, and our main character is gonna be May. Love May. So May is a loner. She's quiet, she's mostly like off to herself and everything. And in the first episode, it starts off with a flashback, and I think it's her voice, and something happened to a pet in class. I'm assuming it's gonna be like an elementary school or middle school, because fast forward like to present day, she's going to high school. So it starts off with that, and it's like talking about how most of like, you can't trust people you thought you were friends, this and that. Why are you guys blaming me for something that hasn't happened? And it looks like something happened to the class pet, and everybody who used to be May's friend turned against her and used her as a scapegoat. So I guess that's our premise for like how she feels about friendships and stuff, and why she's a loner. Of course, she's getting ready for school. Her mom's talking with her. She's eating breakfast. She has a cute little cat, and she takes her little iPod Nano off. Was this in 2008? I think so. But she takes her little iPod Nano or iPod Color. You know, I used to have a bunch of those in middle school, and people kept stealing them. And then when I washed the washing machine, I didn't deserve all those, because you know how much money those were back then. I had the green one, and then I had the one that was like squares. Okay, back to the topic. So May's going to school. She's going on the train. She takes the train to school. You see like the contrast from her. You see like all these friends, like a couple friends sitting with each other, laughing, giggling, then there's her alone. And so she arrives to school, and then all of a sudden these 3 girls trying to be calling her bullies. I'm like, hey May, so-and-so and so-and-so, how does it feel not to have friends or a boyfriend? And I would be like, how does it feel to be failing every class? Like, that's all the same, right? That's all the same, right? But they were like just telling all her dirty laundry, not dirty laundry, but they were just like trying to read her for filth of how she doesn't have friends or a boyfriend. And then May just looked down like, okay. And she was like, I haven't had a boyfriend for 16 years, and I'm planning on breaking that record, making it 17 years. No, but she doesn't have friends in a while, or people that she thought were her friends, they're not her friends anymore. And she hasn't had a boyfriend, so she's been keeping to herself, and she's walking to class, and basically that's how it is. We're cutting to our next characters. We have Kenji and Yamato. Yamato is our main guy. So Kenji and Yamato are our best friends. They're walking down the hallway talking about, hey, you had dinner with those girls last night, as in Yamato. He's the popular guy. He's gonna be our main man. And his friend Kenji, even though he's girl crazy, Yamato's obviously the one who gets all the girls, and he's super nice. He hangs out with everyone. He's like, did you get their numbers? Well, this and that. And Yamato's like, man, nah, I was being nice. I was just hanging out with them. And then Kenji's all like, you always get all the good girls. You don't even want them. Why are you being blessed with the girls I could be macking on, and this and that and blah blah blah? And I'm just like, it's probably because your personality is probably crappy and people don't take you seriously. And Yamato's just like, I guess I got it like that. But he's not like trying to mac on him like Kenji is. So as they're walking, they run into, I believe, Asami. And this is her. She's so pretty. She's also, I think she's more of Yamato's friend than she is Kenji's, because she is Kenji's crush. And you know how I said he is very girl crazy? She is also well endowed, as you can see if I put it like in a clip or something like that. And she super hugs him, and she tells him about his day, completely ignoring Kenji, who's just sitting there with his arms open talking about some And so Yamato, I think that's how you say it, Yamato, he's just talking to her normally because they're friends, and he's like, oh, you want to hang out, you want to go here, you want to go there, blah blah blah, okay, yeah, cool. And she's like, okay, I'll see you later, bye. And then Kenji's still just standing there like, his little heart is breaking because he's like, you already got all the girls, you trying to take Asami from me too? And then Yamato's like, no. And then, but the thing is about Kenji, I think he genuinely does like her, because you know those people who flirt a lot but then they have that one person they really like, because he's like, she's more than just her boobs. He's like, she's more than just her boobs, and she's a nice girl and this and that and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't know if she'll give you the time of day the way you be acting. And they're still talking, and then they bump into someone. Well, Kenji does. He goes, my bad. And then he's looking down, and then who's on the floor? Our girl May. And then he was like, oh, she's such a weirdo, she's such a weirdo. And Yamato's like, that weirdo got my attention though right now. So basically Kenji was telling Yamato, oh, she's a weirdo, she's a loner, she doesn't have any friends, she's a downer, she's not my type. But then Yamato's like, okay, but she probably my type, so I'm trying to see what she about. And then it cuts to them in class chilling. So we're like cutting to the scene where they're changing classes and they're going up steps. And Kenji's being a perv because you know how sometimes high school girls have their skirts super high and rolled up. It's like, oh ho ho, what's under them skirts? And Yamato's like, stop being a weirdo. And then Kenji's like, I'm trying to teach them a lesson that it's really guys when you have long skirts, because that adds to the chase and the allure. And he's like going back and forth with the girls, telling them, ha ha ha, make sure you don't wear them too short. And they're like, can you get away from us, pervs? Hee hee hee. And then Yamato is like surrounded by girls, obviously, because they're like, we heard you went to dinner with those one girls, why didn't you go with us, hang out with us, hang out with us? And Yamato's nice, and he's like, okay, I mean, it wasn't a date or anything, we were just going out to eat. And then Kenji, still on a mission, he sees a long skirt. Who's the long skirt? But you know, he said, there's a long skirt, this is the one I want to see. I want to see what's up that skirt. So his invading personal space and consent head ass wants to go and pull her skirt. He gets to the tip of it. By the time he touches it and lets it go, you turn around and you see it's our girl May. So in between that happening, he says, oh, it's you, May. But then Yamato comes up to Kenji talking about, hey, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? By the time she turns her head around, she thinks it was Yamato who freaking touched her skirt, right? Trying to pull it up. So what does she do? She said, tries to do a roundhouse kick. That's not how it sounds. I just made a sound effect to a roundhouse kick. Okay, but she does a roundhouse kick and she knocks him down the steps. And everybody's just like, and of course, like, she goes off. She goes completely off. I said, let it out, baby girl, because people been talking to you sideways this whole time. We're not gonna let it fly anymore. Quiet but deadly, silent but deadly. Let them know. And Yamato's just sitting there like, and then Kenji's just sitting there like, oh, it was my fault. And then the girls, you know who they like him, they're just sitting there like plotting, because you know. And she just goes back up the stairs because she's over the situation. And those girls are already like, you weren't even the one who did it. She needs to apologize. It was Kenji, so and so and so. And they're like, you're okay? And then Yamato's just sitting there and he's like, like his little hand is bruised and he's sat there. But I think he was just like intrigued by her so much because he wants to get to know about her and everything else. So it cuts to class happening, and I think Kenji sees the girls plotting on bullying May because she kicked Yamato down the stairs, even though it wasn't his fault. But that's what she thought because those two were there and he was like right behind her, and then Kenji was off to the side on the stairs. So they threw stuff in our locker, called her a bitch and stuff like that. I'm like, you're taking us really too seriously, you're taking us too deep. And then so she sees all that in her locker and she's like, oh, okay, so they want to be a bully, as pitiful girls do. So once she closes her locker, guess who's there? our boy Yamato doing things that Kenji should have done. He's going to apologize for Kenji on his behalf for the whole skirt thing. He's like, I'm sorry, my friend is so stupid, this and that. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she sees his hand and she feels a little bad, and she's like, well, I'm sorry too for hitting you and stuff like that. And she gives him a band-aid, and then he uses as an in, like, hey, I want to get to know you, I want to be friends. And she's like, ah, we're gonna pause that real quick. I don't do friends, I don't trust people. You're not about to know me. So if you, and then he's like, I'm gonna cherish this band-aid forever. She's like, I got a million more if that's what you want. And I believe, I don't know if I'm going out of order or whatever, but does he give her his number at this time or not? But either way, in the show, that's important. He writes down his number, because I think she was like, I don't have a phone, I don't have this, I don't have that, we're not gonna exchange numbers. So he just wrote his phone number down for her and then hands it to her. Our good sis has a part-time job. She be working. Okay, but while she is at work, there is like this man who is, oh, looks like he is a father of 4, nuclear family, 401k plan, just got off the old 9 to 5, and he's looking May up and down, focusing on her eyes and her neck and her hair. She's like a whole high school girl. And he has his little 85C cafe and bakery items. That's not the place, but have you guys ever had it? It's so delicious. Like, it's addicting. I would go there like every day, but bread is not my friend, and I don't have a high metabolism. So if I eat bakery goods every day, I will get bigger than I already am. I'm already trying to lose the weight. Anywho, so he's being a creep and he's talking to her. He's like, yes, yes, pack the bread individually so I can stay longer and stare at you. And she's like, okay. And he's like, oh, thank you. And then like it zooms in on him like looking up her stinking name tag, and I think it just has her last name on it, not the whole damn government. Because you know, I used to have a name tag when I worked as a server, and it had my whole government name on it because I was a trainer. Didn't like that whatsoever. But there, he's creepy. I'm like, okay, so is he gonna be a problem or what? But it cuts to her going home. And then the next day, everywhere, like a freaking, like he just be popping up and teleporting everywhere. She has that phone number, and she's starting to feel little things like nobody's ever like reached out and talked to me like this before in like years, ever since they blamed me for that dead bunny. Yamato's popping out through the lockers, through the toilet seat, out of corners, like a smooth criminal, talking about, you didn't call me, you didn't use my phone number, I want to be friends, why can't you call me? She's like, I don't use phones, I don't like talking to phones. I don't use phones, I don't like talking to phones. I only got 2 people in my phone, home and work, and that's all I do. And he was like, she's like, I don't like friends, I don't like people. Friends betray you, friends backstab you. At the end of the day, they may say they're there for you, but they're really not in the end. And he's like, not everyone is like that. You should give people a chance. And she's like, yeah, I'm not giving people a chance. You can miss me with that. And she like legit showed, she legit showed like the 1-2 contacts. I think Yamato was like shook, because he was like, you really don't be talking to nobody, huh? You don't got no friends. And she's like, I do this, I'm about this, I don't have any friends. So the next thing we get to is our good sis May working her little after school 9 to 5. It's not 9 to 5, but she's working her next job again. I keep pulling this down because I like when you see this. I do have a big head, but it's cute. So May's working her job again, and she's done with her shift, night shift. She's walking home. Who do we see? Mr. 401k plan, you could be her daddy, Grunkle, walking up by her, and he has a little smirk like, huh. And she sees, I don't think she sees him the first time, where she does it, and she's just like walking home. And I think she feels a presence, and I'm looking for the presence too. I'm like, okay, it's dark, maybe we just saw something. All of a sudden it cuts to the screen, and he's like, right behind her, popping up. I'm just like, oh no, absolutely not. And she sensed it too, and she's quick. So we walk into our local little 7-Eleven. It looks like a 7-Eleven, but we walk into the local little convenience store, and she's like freaking out. I'm like, okay, so we're hiding out in here. And I think homeboy is on the outside of the convenience store watching her, like following her every move like a creep, like 911, hello. So she's calling her mom. Her mom's not answering. That throws me back to when I was in middle school, and I used to be calling my mom, and she wouldn't answer on the first go. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to answer me first. I'm the child. You need to answer me. What if something happened to you? What if something happened to me? Answer the phone. So her mom ain't even answer the phone. Her mom probably working her little job too, or she knocked out. But I was kind of annoyed. So I'm like, what are you gonna do, girl? Who she call? Our boy Yamato. He is at karaoke, and I think Asami asked him I think a couple scenes before, let's go karaoke, you promised. And he's like, okay. But he's there, he's chilling off the rip. First ring, he didn't even, I don't even know if he knew it was her number or not, but he said boom, bam, hello. And I was like, king elements right there. So he said, what's up? And May was like, help me. And he said, I'm out. And then everybody doing karaoke was just karaokeing. He was like first responder, first to it. He gets in there, she's like, where are you? This and that. He meets her at the convenience store, and she was like, this grunkle is following me from home, from work. He's been watching me. And your mom was like, somebody pushing up to my boo? I don't think so. And then I said, you tell him, we about to get it, let's go. So I was like, what's the plan? This boy ordered some ice cream. I'm like, okay, all right, you didn't have to purchase something, just hide in here. Is that what you're doing? So he said, I got this. So he made it look like they were walking out. He put his arm around our good sis, and he's like, yeah, blah blah blah, this and that, going out with ice cream. Why did this old man have the audacity to look at May like they were a couple and knew each other, like they were even on talking basis like that, talking about, who is this guy? No, who are you? Who are you? And then he was like, who's this guy? Like, I've been following you. You have the audacity to have another man around you? Loser! And then Yamato was like, May, I love you. And they said, and he kissed her. He gave her her first kiss, and she started singing stars, flashback. I bet you she probably went back to the first day she was born. But it started doing like a reeling stuff in her head, because that was her first kiss and she didn't know what was going on. Okay, and then while he was kissing May, he looked out of his Mumbai eye and he said, basically, you see this? You see this girl? She mine. So hands off, old man, before I call the cops. I was like, I know that's right. And then basically that's how the episode ended, because she's like, that's my first kiss? Okay. And then it was like really cute. So I think I'm gonna keep watching, and I will try to update us with this sleepover. I don't know if I'm gonna have different pajamas, because these are the cutest ones I have. And technically it's not nighttime, but you don't need to know that. So I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Say I Love You. Tell me other shoujos I could do, or if you have read the manga for Say I Love You, or even if you watched the anime and if you liked it or not. And where's the wings? Where's the wings? I want to show the wings. Oh. And my cute pajamas with the wings. I did this for Christmas one year, and I did like a Pokemon themed Christmas tree. If you also want to see that, I'll show you guys. Oh, but anywho, I'll see you guys later. Bye.